Hello and welcome back to the On the Football Zone and to a weekend review, reviewing the Premier League action from this weekend, and starting off with a very painful day for West Ham, defeated 5-1 at home by Chelsea. Yeah, a really poor defeat. Lucas Paqueta gave them an early lead and they nearly had a goal through full crack, which was disallowed, but Pedro, Neto, Fernandes, Caicedo and Chalobah with the goals, and Chelsea were dominant here, looking really good under Maresca. But for West Ham, starts off the season really slowly and investment is needed desperately as questions grow on Graham Potter. Another really disappointing result for Man City followed up a 2-0 defeat at home to Spurs, and yeah, it was Brennan Johnson and Paulinho just before half time. City kind of had quite a lot of the ball, as you'd expect, had some decent chances. We'll be disappointed they didn't score a goal or two, but yeah, it's kind of like the passing around the back and stuff like that just didn't really suit them. Trafford made a mistake, but for Spurs I think that's an early warning sign as to what Thomas Frank can do, so that'll be a really positive sign for them, and they'll take definitely a lot of encouragement out of this one, I think. Before moving on into Burnley 2, Sunderland 0 at Turf Moor, and yeah, a great win for Burnley. They had to wait until the 47th minute for Cullen to give them the lead, and Anthony in the 88th minute. I'd say Burnley probably just about deserved the win here. Big win for Burnley. Obviously it didn't go well for them in the first game of the season. It went well for Sunderland, so yeah, for them to reverse that momentum will be big for them. But I think Sunderland will see this as a bit of a missed opportunity to really go 2 from 2 and start their season off in a perfect way, if you kind of get what I mean. Before we then moved on to Keith Andrews' Brentford taking on Unai Emery's Aston Villa, and it was Brentford who came out on top. A 1-0 win. Otara in the 12th minute giving them the win. A goal disallowed by Damsgaard for a foul in the 43rd minute. But Brentford, I mean, yeah, they didn't have much of the ball, 76% for Aston Villa, but I think they created the better chances, and in the end, I think it was a gutsy performance, and they can say well deserved for their win. Aston Villa, I think, will be really disappointed for how it turned out. So yeah, frustrating for them, but a good win for Brentford nonetheless. Moving on into Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0 at the Vitality, and yeah, it was Tavernier with the early goal in the 4th minute, and Totti was sent off in the 49th minute. Bournemouth, from then on really dominated the game. In the end, probably disappointed that they didn't score more than one, but dominated the game nonetheless, and yeah, came away as a deserving winner, and I think they'll be very happy with that. But for Wolves, I think concerning signs. I'm not really seeing a lot from them this season to suggest that they're really going to be on for a good season this term round. Moving on into Arsenal 5, Leeds 0 at the Emirates, and it was Timber, Saka, Gyökeres, Timber and Gyökeres again with the goals. A brilliant performance by Arsenal here, really putting Leeds to the sword. I think really showing a difference in quality. Leeds, I mean, if they thought this Premier League stuff was easy after that win against Everton last weekend, probably got a reality check. But I think we also saw from Arsenal here really what they can do as well. So, a very, very encouraging performance from Arsenal. But for Leeds, like I say, if they didn't know already, how tough a season they're going to be in for. Moving on into Everton 2, Brighton 0, the first Premier League game at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, and it was a 2-0 win for Everton. Ndiaye and Garner with a goal. Welbeck missed the penalty in the 77th minute, and in the end, Brighton probably had a lot of the game, but in the end I think Everton did well and get that win. I'm so excited to see Jack Grealish in action this season based on what we've seen from him so far. That looks really, really encouraging. So yeah, they'll be absolutely delighted with that. A big win for Everton. But for Brighton, I think they'll be frustrated with this result, especially the 2-0 scoreline. Moving on into Crystal Palace 1, Nottingham Forest 1 at Selhurst Park. It was Ismaila Sarr in the 37th minute he gave them the lead before Callum Hudson-Odoi equalised with 57 minutes on the clock. And it was quite an even game, not much to separate the two sides, but I think obviously with the whole summer charade that's gone on between these two sides, I think both sides would really want to get the win, especially on the Palace side, I would say. So yeah, they'll be frustrated with that, especially taking the lead, being at home, but I think on the whole both teams will be relatively satisfied with the point. Moving on into Fulham 1, Manchester United 1 at Craven Cottage. Bruno Fernandes with an all-score penalty in the 38th minute, but Rodrigo Muniz own goal in the 58th gave United the lead before the former Arsenal man Smith Rowe made it 1 apiece. And in the end it was a tight game though. I would say draw was probably the fair result. If one team maybe edged it, it was probably Fulham. But yeah, Manchester United, it shows that they still got a lot of work to do. I think Fulham though will take positive sides out of this performance. Moving on into a crazy game on Monday night, especially the whole context of the Isak situation. Newcastle 2, Liverpool 3. Gravenberch against around the play gave Liverpool the lead in the 35th minute before Anthony Gordon was sent off just for half time, rightfully so in my opinion. Ekitike made it 2-0 and you thought it was game over, but no, an incredible comeback from Guimaraes and Arsuda made it 2-2, but then in the 90 plus 10 minute, Liverpool scored the win, the 16-year-old Nouma scoring, and yeah, an incredible moment for him, an incredible moment for Liverpool, and yeah, you can just imagine how the Newcastle fans are feeling with everything going on at the moment.
Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily football news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.